Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. This is your midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration to keep you moving forward, being excited and inspired about your life and about what you're bringing to the world. I am Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, along with my two sisters, Trish Carr and Susan Winter, and we don't always remember to share that with you, but my sisters and I started Women's Prosperity Network in 2008, and since then we have had the privilege and the pleasure of working with tens and thousands of women just like you to support you in bringing your vision to life so that you can make the impact you desire and the income you deserve. Can I get a hey, yeah, because we should be having both. So I'm so glad to be here with all of you and to bring you our guest today, the wonderful, stellar, brilliant, best-selling author, publicity expert. She gets people book deals with book agents. She goes all over the world, both in person and virtually now, letting people know that publicity is not scary. And this is, today we're going to be sharing how you can stand out, get noticed, and take your projects forward in a bigger way through publicity. So welcome, my friend Jill.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Always great to be with you and our sisters.
Yes. And you know, Jill, I love to share the story of the fact that you have been a part of our community since that very first year we started. I remember, I'm not sure how our connection came about. It might have been Shannon Gronich through CEO Space or something. Do you remember how it was? Because I don't.
You know, I really don't, but I do remember being in a hotel and our wonderful Connect and your beautiful group and in Fort Lauderdale, I think it was.
It was in Fort Lauderdale. And actually, if memory serves me, we actually did like a lunch and learn in a restaurant. Before that, that was the first thing that we did together. And I have your publicity book sitting right here on my desk. I'm going to pull it out in a minute and show everybody that I still have it. Wait, let me see. I think this is it. It better be, because I don't want to pull out someone else's book. Nope, didn't find it. Whatever. Share your brilliance with us today.
Well, in case you want to see the book, it's right here, Guerrilla Publicity. Third edition, Nancy, third edition. Wow. Yes, and I'm just so delighted to be here because really, my friends, it is all about you and using the power of publicity to, I like to say, the 3 M's. You know, I know we all like M&Ms, but I got one more M for you, the 3 M's, which is magnetize, monetize, and multiply. That's the power of what publicity does, and it really creates your influence and your impact. And everyone I work with and people in this organization I know want to have that influence and impact. Publicity is a very simple way to get that done and attract people to you, right? It's just an easy attraction strategy.
And so let's talk about this, because what most of us want is to be able to attract customers, attract clients, attract media to gain attention on what we're bringing to life for our clients and for the world. And I think what entrepreneurs too often end up doing is chasing instead of attracting.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, that's an easy path to get into, but here's the good news. When you're being interviewed, when you're on radio, TV, when you're on a podcast, when you create a blog or you're a guest blogger, guess what happens? People are attracted to you. They see your message. It needs to be authentic, of course, and resonant for you. And guess what? All of a sudden, prospects occur. And this is a powerful thing about publicity. Not only do prospects occur and sales occur, like really directly. And I've seen, listen, I saw a self-published author sell 42 books in 15 minutes from one podcast. Okay, that's powerful.
Yeah.
A financial planner who got literally 7 clients and 12 prospects from one blog post. That's what I'm talking about. And that's just one, couple stories. But what I've seen is that this works. And the truth is, without you showing up, how can anybody work with you? So to me, it's about putting your gift into the world and giving people your gift of knowledge. which is the point that you need to be a good problem solver in the marketplace, because you are all experts, period. And so I really want you to take that in, that as an expert, you solve problems in the marketplace. And then I want to give you a fun strategy for getting in other ways too. But I wanted to see if you have any questions on some of that.
Yes. So first of all, I have somebody asking for you to repeat those 3 M's again. I think it was magnetize, magnify, and monetize.
It was monetize, multiply, and magnetize.
And magnetize. Okay, good. There you go. And one of the things that I want to mention is when you were talking about being on podcasts, being on interviews, and selling your books from it, I just want to share evidence of this, my friends, because yesterday I was running a report from Amazon Kindle version of my book Sales for the One Philosophy. And I was matching up the days where I sold 94 Kindle versions of my book with where was I being interviewed. So it happens. And the key is you got to get out there. Now, I know one of the things that can feel scary to many people is like, what do I say to the publisher? How do I get people to let me be on their podcast? Or how do I get, in the news with my stories, with what, that difference that I'm making?
Well, first of all, I want to say podcasts are probably, besides blogs, the easiest thing to get. Why? Because there's a plethora of podcasters, and they need guests. And so do all those radio stations too, by the way. See, here's what I really want you to hear. The media needs you as a guest, period. Okay, so then let me answer that piece. And that is that, number one, you've got to use all aspects of who you are. So if the podcast is talking about business, most of you are in business, right? So talk about an aspect of business, not just what you do. I call that beat the chest publicity, right? You want to be giving the listeners value and benefit. You want to give them things to do and tell them what to do. Why are you going to tell them what to do? Because you're the expert. But here's the deal. You're not going to get on that podcast just going, hey, pick me because I got a great product, or I got a great service, or I'm launching this. The truth is, they need to understand how what you do is good for their listeners, viewers, and readers. Okay, so here's the thing. Use you language. When you're pitching podcasters, notice I'm doing it right now. As I'm talking to you, I'm using you language. So when you're pitching podcasters, you speak to what they need. They got a business show, talk about being in business and what that's like. They got a show about moms in business, talk about the fact that you're a mom in business, and here's, how you deliver and what you say to moms. You see, so go specific to what they need, but then also, I believe in also what I might call a general pitch, right? Because I want you to have one great message that you can rinse and repeat, really, that are scripted so that it's in you, that it is you, that you can say it no matter what time of day it is, because, listen, you may have to get up really early to do just like here, right? To do some interviews. And that's super. Why not, right? So I think that's really a key is the power of you language, the power of solving problems in the marketplace. And my friends, there's another really fun way to get in media. And that is use everything you've got. That's a writer downer. Use everything you've got. So, if you're Hispanic, go on over to Latina Magazine, go to Hispanic podcast, and go to, fill in the blank, right? If you're African American, go into urban radio, get into Black enterprise, do the media that's specific to what you can be doing. I call this use everything you've got. Being a woman, International Women's Day is March 8th. You have a women's organization here. And then good news, if you're members of WPN, there is a wonderful aspect that's a great value of WPN, and that is the podcasters actually let you know who they are in your network, Nancy. So that's really super.
Yeah. So, you got me thinking, and so let me tell you, audience, I always get benefit when I'm with Jill. No matter how many times we're together, I pick up something new. And what you just shared about using everything you've got, like us as the sisters have not sought out podcasts or blogs or opportunities to be interviewed specifically about family in business, because that's a whole slice that we really have a lot of experience on. And then the other thing is me as a single mom. Like, I don't think I've really talked about that very much.
Okay, two great things, not to mention International Women's Day, not to mention what I want you to do, and this is for everybody. Take a look, for instance, Nancy, for you, is when is Sisters Day or Sisters Month? Mm-hmm. I know it's there somewhere, okay? And I would take a peek at what is it that you could be using everything you've got. So there's definitely Mompreneurs months. There are months that celebrate different things. I have a client, she has a special needs child. We, instead of getting her in, interestingly enough, got a story about her as a special needs mom. That's the story that took off like wildfire. Mm-hmm. And so here's the truth. Whatever takes off, it's a good thing, because then you're in the news, and who controls your message? You do. So once you're in the news, great news, you control the message. You bring people to your websites, to your free gifts, to the practical ways to connect to you, right? And so use everything you've got. I'll just tell you a great story. There's a woman who owns a digital marketing agency. She's 28. She took my virtual publicity course, and I'm sitting there looking at her, and I know she was there because she wanted to create prospects and, of course, get business for her agency. That's what she wanted to use publicity for. I said, listen, I'm looking across the screen, and we've got a big thing going on now called #StopAsianHate. You are Filipino. Let's get you out there for this. And you know what? Doing that got her, let's see, it was 3 speaking engagements that week. It was literally 7 clients came in because of her speaking engagements, which was about, Stop Asian Hate. And she got a plethora of clients streaming into her door as prospects. Why? Because she was out there, because she used everything she's got. So I want you to really look at how could you be using other parts of who you are so that your name gets out there. Because here's the thing, I want you to be consistent and persistent in the media. And so maybe somebody sees you because you're talking about whatever, Black Lives Matter. Maybe somebody sees you because you're talking about communicating with confidence. Maybe somebody sees you because, as one of my clients did, he is a parent to a 4-year-old, even though he's a consultant, business consultant. And we were talking about this, and he goes, oh my gosh, Jill, I can make a mean hot dog. So we looked up National Hot Dog Day. Sorry, I don't remember it. But guess who got in for National Hot Dog Day? Because he's a parent to a 4-year-old, makes a great hot dog, and he could talk about that and then drive people back to his website. Now, here's the thing. Go to nationaldaycalendar.com. Someone post that in the chat. Nationaldaycalendar.com. That's a great resource to check out some of these holidays I'm talking about. And if there isn't one, my friends, make it up. Make it up. So one of my clients, she's an organizer. And yes, there is National Organizing Month, but we wanted to be a little more creative. So we created a new holiday called Find Your Desk Day. And that's
really good
problem.
Yeah.
But that's the point. See, it got you laughing, it got you engaged. This is my point, my friends. You want to engage people, and that's what sound bites do. By the way, when I said use everything you've got, that's a sound bite, right? And I want you to create your content into at least 3 sound bites that are solutions that give people real things to do. And that makes a huge difference.
Love that. Wow. So good. My mind is blown. So I know that one of your gifts is working with people to help them find those sound bites. So just let me tell everyone who's here with us on Zoom or on the phone, we're going to bring you on for some Q&A and give you the opportunity to tap into Jill's brilliance. Let me ask this question. So once we've got our sound bite, what do we do with it? Like, how do you find places to reach the media, to get on podcasts? Do you have some suggestions on how to do that? Because it could feel overwhelming.
So I want you to take small steps. eat the elephant a bite at a time, my friends. And that could be as simple as go to iTunes, excuse me, and let's put in a keyword, like business, like one word of what you do, right? Just put in a keyword, and then let's see what starts coming up, including, by the way, you could put in speaking if you want to speak more. You could put in, I have a leadership consultant, she put in leadership, right? What is it that you can put in that gives you one keyword? Go to Google Alerts, it's completely free, and do that, plus go to iTunes and put that word in, and then let's see what shows up. Now that is a great first step, and I'm going to tell you, it will give you plenty to work with, because what's going to show up is the podcast that you can get on, and then simultaneously you can do this on Blog Talk Radio, another great resource where people are needing and wanting guests just like you. And so what I want to say to you is podcasts are really key and powerful. Like people go, well, it's a podcast. Yeah. Like if Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama created a podcast. And by the way, it's really super fun.
That was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was.
No, that's all good. I got you, girl.
And so, if they would create a podcast and know how important it is, I think that you need to take a look at the power of being on any podcast. And what's super about that is any media you do, okay? What's super amazing is any media you do, what you do then is it's called publicize your publicity. So then you send it out to your clients and your prospects and with a link to it. Wow, look what, I just want to share with you that I was recently interviewed. Even if they don't even listen to it, here's the thing. It creates that repetition, that authority, that credibility, that visibility, that trust, and the impact that people are listening to you, that people are choosing you because you're an expert. And that's the power of media. That's the power of getting in so that your expertise rises, right? And that the power of trust, which is key. And I like to call this I've heard of her somewhere syndrome. People will have seen you or connected to you. They don't always remember where, but the good news is they've heard of you somewhere.
Yeah, that's very fun when that starts to happen. And publicize your publicity. That's something I want to do better. So for all of you out there, go, what you've been on podcasts recently, you've done interviews. If you've been on Wow Wednesday, you need to publicize that. This show has been running for 12 years. Like, this is a big deal. If you're on this show, if you're on our Be Real podcast, if you're on Celebrate You does podcast, there's lots of things. So send a newsletter out to your list, share on social media. And the beautiful thing about that is your podcast host now thanks you for sharing, because you're helping them too. And then, so when we talk about what do podcast hosts want, how do you get in with them? If they are looking at bringing you on and they see, oh, she does lots of podcasts, or she's done other, and look how she promoted that and shared it with her community, that helped the podcast host. So there's lots of pieces playing into this. And I think someone wrote in the chat earlier, I think it was Roz, about relational currency. Like our relationship that's been going on for almost 13 years, there's currency here, there's value, and there's trust built because we love and respect and share each other with our communities. Like, you've sent so many amazing women to Women's Prosperity Network, as I've sent so many people to you for the publicity work.
Right, because you know what? That's the power. I love that of the currency of kindness is what I like to say.
Yeah.
And we help each other, right? But here's the thing, you got to get that visibility is power. And so by showing up on WPN, by showing up here, by showing up, literally showing up, that is visibility. And here's the other thing I just want to say, because everything is publicity, my friends. So you notice I have 4 books behind me, right? All 4 books right behind me. I come on so many Zooms or networking, including yours, and I know people are published authors perhaps, or they're speakers, or they have products, and yet I'm looking in their Zoom and I don't see it. I don't see their product or service, or maybe a banner or something that's visual. Notice behind Nancy is her books. Yes. So that's exactly, and you can actually read them, Nancy.
I'm like sitting here going, how do mine look?
But the point is, use every opportunity to create and promote and publicize yourself, my friends. This is what it's about. You are your brand. You are your market. You are the power of that visual statement. And this is a visibility building activity. This is what, I would encourage you to do, is focus on one visibility building activity every single week. Now, if you do that, you got 52 weeks of visibility building activities. And that includes nationaldaycalendar.com, going to Google Alerts, looking up podcasts like we're talking about, change your background so that, you can show up, including with one of your members. I had her do a virtual background that then identified what she did, right, as a consultant. So I think you really got to take a look at how can you be more visible even in the showing up, right?
Yeah.
You have a picture. Susan, I see pictures, right? Aurelia, I see pictures. Great. That's a good start. So I think that's really the key, is take a look at what are you, and I know obviously this is a call-in, it's a slightly different meeting, but really pay attention to when you're at meetings, making sure you're publicizing what you want to do too.
Yeah, that's so good. And I know that you've been working with Peggy Lee Hansen, one of our members, who's a publisher, and she's written many, many books, and her background is clear. It shows the many volumes of books that she's done, and courageous publications, and her background is awesome. So I don't know if you had anything to do with that, but kudos, Peggy Lee and Jill.
Kudos, Peggy Lee, but little inside story. I hope she won't mind me sharing, but let me just say I had her actually take out something that was in her background that was actually interfering with her brand because it was confusing.
So it looks great. So that's what
much better, much cleaner. And that's the point, is get people to focus on what you want them to focus on. I have a quilter. She's one of my clients in my virtual publicity course. Let me tell you, when she showed up, I said, you got to take that big quilt off because I'm so distracted by it. That's all I'm looking at. I don't see your face. Get one of your other beautiful quilts that are mellower and quicker, right?
Awesome. Yeah, very, very good. All right, so we're coming up soon. We're going to open up for some question and answer. If you're watching with us on Facebook, you can put your question in the comments there, and I'll be sure to ask Jill for you. If you're here on Zoom, in a moment, I will unmute you so that you'll be able to bring your question on for Jill. And let me ask you this. So I'm going to research, I'm going to focus on, love that tip, one visibility action item per week, whether it's going to Google Alerts, looking for a podcast, working on my messaging. So I've got those sound bites ready to share with people. So I do all that. And now I'm ready to send the email to the podcast guest host. How do I get their attention?
So sexy headlines, just saying. Okay. Now that can be confrontive. That can be stunning, but please do not say press release inside or pick me or any of that. Like, give them a headline. Or, it can be as simple, honestly, as guest on your show. But here's the thing, you've got to do it how they want. Now, some of them are very specific. And here's why they're specific, because if you don't follow directions, guess who's out? You are. And so one of the little tricks of the trade of press people is that they very specifically give you specific directions. And if you don't follow them, you're out. It's a great way to eliminate a lot of people, right?
Yeah. When I'm hiring people for a job and I post on Craigslist or Indeed, I give specific instructions for how they need to apply. And if they don't follow, they don't get in. Exactly. They don't even get a conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing. So I would keep it, really straightforward. Here's the other thing. Please don't go on and on. It's called one headline. I'd love to, then go straight into it. I mean, you don't pussyfoot around. Just be straight. Yeah. The media knows you want to be in the media. It is their job to feature guests. It makes their job easier, let me just say. So it's a beautiful thing. They want you, you want them. That's the truth. So I would start with, here's why I'm a great guest. Like, make one paragraph that you can reuse. right? And reuse and replicate, because I believe in systems and I think it's important. One of my systems is every 30 days, look at your message, make sure it's clear, focused, and simple, and then use that message to to pitch, okay? And then include your bio. Short bio, simple, focused. 4-sentence is basically all I recommend. Like, should be like at the back of a book. Think about that. Like
a 4-sentence bio.
Yes.
Yeah, love it.
People's many are too long, and please don't start with you got your MA or MBA somewhere or your BA. We don't care. No offense. We want you right in there with your credibility and why people should listen to you. I just want to share one thing that Mark Victor Hansen taught me. You know, chicken soup for the soul.
Oh yeah, millionaire. Yeah,
billionaire. Sold a company for billions, sold over 500 B with a billion Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And I tell you, Mark hired me for a book he was working on with Robert Allen called The 1 Minute Millionaire. And he said to me, the book wasn't even out yet. He goes, Jill, you're here because you know why? We at Chicken Soup for the Soul, when we were just starting, we did the smallest, tiniest interviews all over the world. We didn't even know what cities some of those were. We didn't even know where they were, but we said yes to everything because we knew the power of publicity. And so here's what I want to say to you. The power of publicity is what's going to move your world, whether it's to more clients, prospects, consulting, trust, product sales, launches, whatever you're working on. The truth is, the more people who know about it, the more not only influence and impact you can have, but customers, profits, and real money. So, you know, it is about bringing people to you. That's the magnetic part. And the thing is, you don't wait to be perfectly ready for publicity, right? I have people who are writing books, and while they're doing that, we've got blog posts going out. You know, we establish articles, 500 words. Get a 500-word article, my friends, ready right now. Ready, if somebody else can write it. Don't worry if you can't write it, let someone else write it. And then I want you to just send that out. Post it on medium.com is a great resource to post some articles completely free again. Starts getting that visibility going much quicker.
You can post, so medium.com is like an article submission site and they'll take your posts.
Yes, they will.
Awesome. Writing that, well, that's a writer downer, as she said before.
That's a writer downer.
We're going to open up for some Q&A in just a few minutes, but I'd like to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is the Profit of Kindness. So that is Jill's latest book, I believe, right? That is your latest book?
Here it is.
There it is. And you will soon see, if you haven't already, why we are soul sisters. So talk to us about this latest book and how you've used publicity to expand that message and the impact. Like, that's what you're doing. Like, you are such the demonstration of this process.
Oh, thank you. So here's the thing, you know, the book comes out, Profit of Kindness. And before it started, I'll just demonstrate this to you. We had a 9-month plan, a 6-month plan, a 3-month plan, a 1 day, you know, and all that, right? Because here's the thing, my friends, you must plant your publicity garden before you need it. So when the book came out, as much as I'd love to tell you, wow, I got a ton of publicity, which I did, literally 7 Fox News interviews in the first week, literally Inc. magazine and Forbes twice now, and over 80 podcasts and counting, right? So here's the thing. It wasn't about a book being out, because I do what I would do with any of my clients, and that's called step back and go, well, what's the problem today? And the problem today was kindness and having it. We still got this problem. And so I sent out a press release, and the title was The Divided States of America, particularly in the United States. We were having a lot of division. Now it's kind of more all over the world. So guess what? That's the story that got yeses from all of the media. And it wasn't about, ooh, Jill's got a book, Jill's got a book. It's never about, Ivy's, Jill, your book. It's never about that. It's called, what's the message? What's the message? Not like, woo, we got a book. So I just want to really say that when all of that press release went out, that multiplied the message. that created now a year of kindness and a World Kindness Summit that I now host November 13th. Because guess what November 13th is? World Kindness Day. I found that out, can I just tell you, from going to Google Alerts and putting, see, I do practice what I preach. And I put in the word kindness and that showed up. So now we're, of course, doing a summit every year to honor World Kindness Day. And then I have a monthly kindness circle. And then guess what? We are spreading kindness around the globe because India picked up the Prophet of Kindness, the biggest publishing house in India.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they published Brian Tracy and Deepak Chopra, and now Jill Lublin, super excited. And then guess what? You don't even know this, Nancy, because in my mailbox appeared on Monday, the Russian copy. Here it is in the screen, the Russian copy of the Prophet of Kindness.
Wow.
Woo! I'm super excited. And anyway, I'm very excited about that. And also, I just want to invite all of you. Here's my act of kindness to my WPN sisters. You're invited to our Kindness Summit as our guest. So in the chat is actually that wonderful code that will get you into the summit as our guest. How's that?
Thank you. That is spreading kindness. And I really want to encourage all of you, register for the Kindness Summit that Jill is hosting. You can come as her guest for free. Go to jilllublin.com/K Summit, all connected, one word, K Summit. And that's JILLLUBLIN, jilllublin.com/K Summit. So join us for that. It's going to be an extraordinary day. I'm registered and I'm coming. I'm grateful to be there with you. Oh, so much goodness here. And I know we're going to have lots of questions. So I'm going to save mine because I do have several of them. But I do want, can I give this one tip as somebody who hosts a show that people want to get on, like, you know, whether it's Wow Wednesday or a Be Real podcast or Sister to Sister, we get requests. People want to be on our show. And there's two things that I hear is people who, you know, may not think they're good enough to get on. They're like, oh, I want to be on your show. How can I be on your show? And I was like, well, you got to ask. That's number one. You got to ask. If you don't ask, I don't know that you want to be a guest on the show. And if you're out doing other shows, I might notice you and say, oh, I want to get this person as a guest. So there's, you know, kind of a mix there. The second thing that I want to share is as a show host, there's something that burns my butt. And that is when somebody reaches out to me and tells me that I don't know, I have no relationship with them, and they send me a blind email. Hi, my name is so-and-so, and your audience needs to hear my message. I'm like, oh, really? Do they? Like, I don't even know you. So that approach doesn't win me over. And do you want to speak to that for a moment?
Well, I want to speak to the fact that the way to win you over is to tell you why your audience needs their message, not just be insistent on it. Now, you know, you can do a broad statement around your audience will benefit because, but remember, you got to think about their audience.
That statement would make all the difference. Yeah. I believe I could add value to your audience. I could add value to your community by talking about this, which solves this problem. Like, that's what I want to hear.
Perfect. Simple. Again, these are simple tweaks and actually easy ways to put yourself out there that frankly cost nothing, my friends.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for you to spread your message. But I will tell you, speak to what they want, not what you want.
Very good. That's that you messaging again. Talk about them. Right. All right. Let's open up for some questions. Give me a moment to do that. And I do want to mention, register to join us on November 13th. Go to jilllublin.com/K Summit, the letter K Summit, SUMMIT, all one word. And then you recently also put together a publicity challenge that you want to invite people to be a part of. Can you speak to that? And then I'll put the link for that in the chat as well.
Absolutely. Well, I have to tell you, first time in business, I'm doing challenges. It's super fun. And I just share that because guess what? You know, we're always growing and expanding. And so what I put together is a really fun way for you every day to have a super simple thing to do for your publicity to grow your visibility.
Yeah.
And I'm going to walk you through it in an easy hour for over a short course, 4 days, right? Just simple, easy things to do that you'll be able to do quickly and effectively. So come join me for my publicity challenge so that your message gets out and people know who you are, because it's your time, my friends. It's your time. It's all of our time. Let's get it out there.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and open up for some callers. You can raise your hand and let me open up for Roz. Roz, thank you again for always capturing notes and links and putting them in the chat for us. I so appreciate you.
No problem. It helps me because I'm trying. I said I can't do them both, you know, paper and this. So let me do here. And then I try and capture it. So this is just what WOW is all about. WPN, being able to have relational currency, collaborative measures, and effective partnerships. And Dr. Jill, I just want to say I'm calling you DR because the DR means driving results. So
Ooh.
Dr. Jill, driving results. I just want to say you are loved, appreciated, celebrated, valued, and most cherished. October's been really interesting, but I started on Wow Wednesdays. I've been missing some other things, Nancy, but this is where my roots are with WP. It is so refreshing to hear the different entrepreneurs because we get alphabet soup in kingdompreneurship, entrepreneurship, faithpreneurship, with publicitypreneurship, whatever we want to call it, whatever that expertise is. For my sister, you know, you said, give it your all. Well, I want to tell my sisters, come here. Don't dismiss all of the expertise that is here on Wow Wednesday. So I just wanted to share that. And I always have some new folks. So I know Steph or Susan will be getting to them. But Dr. Jill, you're always refreshing. This is like my first time. I remember last year when walking and just listening, you know, to you and Dr. Patricia. That publicity, you know, I know you've been on the stage with her, but I think they got to do that publicity and visibility. That's a big key. That's a big key.
Look at you. She's suggesting a collaboration with Jill Lublin and Patricia Rogers. I think that's what I just heard.
Just two of y'all tag teaming. You know, that this was awesome. But I love you, Nancy, Susan, and Trish, and Dr. Jill. Just remember that DR means driving results, sister. Driving results.
I love it, Roz.
Take care. Have a God amazing day. Thank you for allowing me on the stage.
Thank you so much. You are loved, appreciated, celebrated, and most cherished, my friend. I think I got them all right. But you're in my heart. So good. All right, Roz, thank you for being with us. And let me mention, if you would like to ask a question, hit *6 on your phone, or you can unmute yourself, and then I'll be able to bring you up to ask a question of Driving Results, Jill Lublin. And while we're talking about results, be sure to not only join her for the summit on November 13th, also do the challenge. And I love that you're giving us these bite-sized pieces to start to implement, because otherwise it can feel overwhelming. And all we need to do is small action steps consistently and persistently. So go to jilllublin.com/challenge. So Jill, Jill, Lublin, Lublin.com/challenge, and you'll be able to get those tips, advice, and strategies to get you more publicity. Let's go ahead and open up for some questions and callers. So if you want to work on your soundbite, want to know how to position yourself as the expert, or how to use something of everything that you've got to stand out, my friends, this is your time to get Jill's expertise.
Time to be a star.
Oh, shine on, my friend. So on your computer, go ahead and raise your hand. Let me go, and Mary Jane, you can go live right now. Just click unmute and we should be able to hear you. Mary Jane, I see your hand up. All right. Until
right.
there we go. There we go.
So I authored a book. I Surviving the Business of Dying, Why Final Papers Matter. And there's a long story behind it. But I also created a workbook for people to start the conversation of wills and papers and who does your doll collection go to. I went to minutia because people don't think that's important, but it's the nearest and dearest. I mean, legal, yes, medical, yes. But the things we love are the dearest. You don't want them in a garage sale. So
yeah, Mary Jane, when did you write this book?
The book was published in May 19, listen to me, in 2017. And my husband died in May 2015, and it took 2 years to close a simple estate. He left nothing. And I was the personal representative, and I didn't know any attorneys. So the week after the funeral, you're interviewing people upon whom you will rely for lots of things. You don't know them. My name's Mary Jane. Could they get my name right? I was living.
So Jill, you know, Mary Jane, I'm so glad you're bringing this up, because I suppose your question is, how do I bring this book out front and center to get publicity on it?
Yeah, I live in a small town in North Carolina. I have a website and people have read it and they're able to purchase it, but I need to get it broader. I did not dive into marketing in the last 18 months because I thought that was too opportunistic with all that was going on.
All right, so Jill, I'm sure you have some good tips for Mary Jane.
Absolutely, because you know, Mary Jane, regardless of what's going on in the world, guess what? People are dying. I mean, I hate to say it, right? So here's what I want you to know. That's a very important subject that you got. It doesn't matter that the book came out in 2017, although I would make some quick changes. You want some fun guerrilla tips?
Yes, please.
Yes, number one, I'd put an updated version out. You don't have to frankly change a thing, except the date inside should be 2022. That way it's not 5 years old. 2022. This is for all of you who are putting a book out. We are in, let's say, October, even if you're listening later. Everything moving forward gets 2022 trademarks for the dates. That's number one, because that way you're out later and it gives you a little more time to promote. So for you, it's really a second edition is what you're going to call it. You maybe change the cover slightly. The other thing I want you to change while you're changing the cover, and this is easy to do, I promise, killercovers.com is a really good resource, totally inexpensive. It'll get you a new cover. But in that cover, instead of workbook, I want you to call it an action guide.
Very good.
Yeah,
nobody wants to work.
And especially already, you've already got a very tough subject, so I don't want it to be even multiplied. The other truth is, I would use this as a December story, as a January story about, do you have your papers in order? As we close one year and go into another, do you have your affairs in order? And that's a great question to pose to people as we close 2021, thank God, and go into 2022, right? It's a great last quarter question. It's a great first quarter question. So I even extended your story like by 5 months. You see where I went with that?
Yes,
Love
yes.
it.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's true.
You bet, my pleasure.
And not for nothing, but let's talk about publicity and news. People are dying in record numbers, right? So we've got a lot that's happening in the world, and this is a way to get featured on publicity. You could even be on shows that talk about health and wellness, if we're talking about prevention in those ways, so the business of dying, or getting down to business while you're still alive, or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. I like that, Nancy. Good headline.
Getting down to business while you're still alive. The business of dying while you're still alive.
And
Well, that's it.
That's really good. And Mary Jane, also, I'd look to see, I know there must be months that celebrate or acknowledge widowhood, etc. So go look those up too.
Okay, great.
Those are
awesome.
Spectacular.
And Mary Jane, Deborah Morrison, whose Intentionally Wealthy Women event you were at yesterday, she speaks at an organization called Camp Widow.
Yes, I noticed that.
Okay, so now that you're working with Deborah as well, you'll want to talk with her about Camp Widow and sharing this message.
All right. Holy
Love
cow.
Woo, so
I'm a busy girl.
Yeah, one thing at a time. Don't let it overwhelm you. One thing at a time. You take the list and then you just tick it off, one a week in terms of getting publicity.
Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. And again, let me mention to the audience, join Jill for her publicity challenge, which is not going to be a challenge because she gives you simple steps to take, action steps to take every day. Go to jilllublin.com/challenge. And then also join us. Please, we need you as part of this on November 13th for World Kindness Day. Be the one who shows up on that day to spread more kindness and love in the world. Go to jilllublin.com/K-Summit, all one word. Let's go ahead.
If I might, I'm just going to let you know, I'm always concise and precise. Write those words down because you want to be that. And even the summit, it's only 3 hours. The challenge, 1 hour. I like to deliver things quick and simple. And that's for all of you too, because as you deliver your materials, you want to be focused, concise, and precise.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, let's go ahead, open up for some more callers. If you're on your phone, hit *6 on your computer. Go ahead and raise your hand. I see that we've got the woman I just mentioned, Deborah Morrison, in the house. Good morning, Deborah.
Hey, good morning, and my apologies for missing this. I came to my lake house last night, and I have like a bunch of water in the basement, so I have been scurrying. But Jill, I am eager to talk with you and work with you more. It's been a pleasure the couple of times we have, and I just heard Camp Widow mentioned, and I couldn't be a more avid and complete advocate of the work that Soaring. Camp Widow is a subset of Soaring Spirits International, and it's based right out in California, and they do work internationally, as the name connotes. And Camp Widow is one faction of that offers widowed people of all ilk gatherings, and of course they were virtual during the pandemic, but now they're becoming live again, and they're both in San Diego, Tampa, Toronto, and Australia. So they're spreading their wings, and it's a completely immersive experience for widowed folks, unlike anything I've ever seen. So I highly recommend it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was mentioning it to Mary Jane for her book, which would be beneficial to them. So, and hey, kudos to you. You did an amazing experience for us all yesterday at the Intentionally Wealthy Women Conference. So be sure to look out, my friends, for when the next one is, because it was awesome.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
All right, beautiful. Thank you for joining us today. Good luck with the water.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
All right, let's go ahead. We should have time for 1 or 2 more questions or callers. So if you'd like to share or ask something of Jill, like you got the expert here, don't you want to get those sound bites? Hit *6 on your phone or raise your hand. If you're on your computer, you can unmute. Let's see, I see 773 is unmuted, 773-456. Who's that? You're live if you would like to be.
That would be Dorothy from Chicago.
Perfect, my dear. Go, go, go.
I wanted to find out, 2022, I am looking for, we got 52 weeks in the year, so 52 people that's got a message, a product, or something to come on to my show weekly. I want to reach out to an organization that I just joined. It's called Vision Community. And I want to have the right wording. It's like they've got over 3K people in there. So I want the right wording when I go into that organization asking for speakers to come on the show.
Well, Dorothy, here's the good news. Everybody wants to be on a show. And so all you have to say is that you're a media personality. Did you notice I just changed that? You could also say podcast host. There's nothing wrong with that, but I like media personality.
I'm gonna own that too.
Absolutely, because it up levels you. You know, listen, here's the truth. Your mama ain't in front of you raising that white flag for all of you. You are the leaders of your pack. You are the thought leaders, right? So you got to speak it, be it, and speak it confidently. So I like media personality because immediately it elevates you. And believe me, you will have no issues. People will be flocking to you to, hey, can we be on your show? It's gonna turn on you actually in a good way, in a positive way. And I think you just position yourself that way, that you're a media personality, you serve X, you know, here's what your show's about, and that's it. Like just real easy.
Okay. I thank you for that.
You're welcome. The other thing I'll just, share with all of you, the fun thing about being a media personality is that sometimes, just saying, you can get media passes. Side perk benefit. But really, everybody wants to be close to the media, whether you've got a small show or a large show. And here's what else. Remember, I was telling you about Chicken Soup for the Soul and Mark Victor Hansen and what he taught me. Part of that is that none of it mattered how small or large things were. Because here's what I noticed. And people go, oh, well, that's a small show. Who cares? It's a show. And the point is that you're leveraging your publicity. In other words, publicizing your publicity. The point is that you get to brag about it. It's a braggability factor. It's an exposure factor. And I only mean the good kind. And the other truth is that, they're busy promoting you too. So again, the multiplying your message, right? This is what I want for all of you. And that's what I know the power of publicity does. Remember, 3 M's, one of them is multiply your message.
Beautiful. Dorothy, was that helpful for you?
It actually was. So now my message is going to incorporate, if you're looking for bragging rights, you need to come to the media personality show, and that would be me. I'll get the wording right.
Yeah, love that. Good stuff, my friend. So, pull up to the porch to be on the show with media personality Dorothy May Ross.
Perfect. That was good. Is that the name of her show?
Yeah, it's Porch Talk.
Beautiful, beautiful. So here's another hot tip, and that is integrate, which Nancy has heard me say, and she did it right there, is integrate the name of your show, your product, your service somewhere into your message. That's what Nancy did when she spoke it back to Dorothy. And beautiful. So you always want to be integrating what you do into your message.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Nancy.
You're welcome. I've been studying with Jill for a long time. It just happens.
It rubs off.
It does. It does. All right. Thank you, Dorothy May. And she's got a great event coming up this Friday. So maybe, Dorothy, if you want to post your link on the Facebook or in the chat, that would be great. And it's called The Games People Play. Join us on the porch for The Games People Play.
Thank you, Nancy, for that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I like hanging out on the porch with you. It's very fun.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, my friends. I'm going to wrap us up here today and remind you to do 2 things. Number 1, join us for the Kindness Summit. We need you to be the one to get out there and bring your love and light more to the world. So go to jilllublin.com/K Summit, the letter K and the word summit all together, all one word. The second thing is take small, consistent, persistent action steps to share your brand, to be that media personality, reaching out there, visibility. You've got to be showing up. If you want to be seen, you got to show up. Like, come on, you want to be seen and heard? You got to show up. So join her challenge and go to jilllublin.com/challenge. My friend, thank you for giving us so many gifts today, your wisdom on this very early morning. I am so grateful for you showing up today. Any final words for our audience today?
Well, first of all, I love and adore you. I'm so thrilled to be here with WPN. And I want to just leave you with your message matters. You all matter. And it's time to get it out there so that you can have the influence and impact that you desire and deserve and that the world needs. You're a great gift. Let's get it out there.
Yes, 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 yes. Get out there, my friends. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you again next week for another Wow Wednesday. As a matter of fact, I got a special episode I'm doing Friday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So check your inbox because we're having a special guest on Friday. All right, bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Bye, Jill.
Bye-bye.